Hey guys, how are you? Mark Harbert here from markharbert.com, and yeah, I'm outside today. I figured I'd get outside the house. I wanted to make a very special video for you today. This is definitely not your typical video. This is definitely not your typical blog post. And I feel like this is kind of my time to share what it is that has really impacted me, impacted my life, and what it's done for me, how it's helped me to be successful. You know, I get the question all the time with a lot of my students and just people that I work with that ask me, you know, what is it? What's that secret ingredient? What is it that really, you know, causes you to be, you know, successful? You know, what is it, Mark? You've gone on, you've built this really successful business. You've gone on and, you know, done amazing things online. And it's always, you know, honestly, it's always been very difficult for me in a lot of ways to share, and I guess it's because my intention is never to offend people. And maybe I've played too much political correctness, I don't know. But my heart is never to offend people, but the time has come that I need to actually share with you exactly why I've been as successful as I have, how I've been able to literally go from, you know, $7 in my bank account to a multiple six-figure income online, how I've been able to build a business really kind of on my terms, and how, you know, I've been able to do things. And for me, I really believe, and you'll probably see in the blog post here, I really truly believe that this business is built on solid relationships. It's built on building quality relationships with people in the industry, networking, learning to connect with other people, and through that you begin to really build relationships that turn into profitable relationships. You know, maybe doing a project together, or you know, sharing knowledge together, going out building something together. You know, I had many of those throughout my career, and the relationships have always been the mainstay of what's helped me to be successful. But I will tell you, there is one relationship that I have had throughout all my years of business and growth and learning to do things that has been by far not only the most profitable for me in a financial way, but in a spiritual way as well. I haven't shared this much, but I have to tell you that the biggest relationship that I've had in my life that has given me the success that I've wanted, that's given me everything, is my relationship with my personal Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. You know, I have to tell you, a lot of times I get on calls and webinars and I share with people, what is it, you know, that helps me to be successful? What is it? But you know, I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for Jesus Christ. You know, for me, He has been my everything. I haven't, you know, it's amazing when you go about business and you're going about to have success. There's certain things that help get you through tough times. And for me, those tough times when I was really starting to you know, bloom in my business, when things were starting to take off, I just remember that God was and always has been my number one. He comes before my family, He's before my business. It's always been my most prized possession. And I believe that God has really showered great blessings in my life because my heart, my goal, and I'm not always perfect at it, and God never asks me to be. He just wants me to seek Him with my heart, to love Him for who He is. And He's the creator of the heavens and the earth. So for me, when people ask me, how is it that you've been successful? How is it that you've, you know, built wealth in your business? It's because of God. That's why. It's because of my Heavenly Father. That's why I'm standing here before you today. That's why I'm sharing this video with you, so that you can hear my testimony for what God has done for me. You know, for all my years in this industry, I've made plenty of testimonial videos for people that have helped me, people that I've known, people that I've seen do great things, telling, you know, how, You know, if you want to do business with them, you have to connect with them. You know, they're real people, they're there. But I've never given a testimonial for the one thing that's made all the difference in my business and in my life, and it's for my God and His Son, Jesus Christ. You know, we live in uncertain times. You know, we all go through challenges in life. We all have things, but I'll tell you what, God has always taken care of me. He's always taken care of me. Even when times were lean and things were, I didn't know how I was going to get through, God always supplied. You know, as you're going to read here in the blog post, I want to tell you something and give you an example of how God revealed Himself to me and how He helped me to see Him bigger. And how even today, still to this very day, I look to Him in everything that I do. So many of you know I lived in Concepcion, Chile, South America. I moved back here to the United States about 1.5 years ago in February of 2014. And my wife and I, we were living in California, and in late 2009 we moved down to Concepcion, Chile, where my wife is from. And we went down there to live for a while. We were down there for actually 4 years. We got down there in December of 2009, and in February of 2010, there was a massive earthquake in Chile. You may have heard about it. It was an 8.8 on the Richter scale earthquake. Huge. And our apartment was just shaking. You know, it was like crazy. Nothing I've ever felt before. And I remember, you know, being really shaken, not just physically, but mentally as well. And it was just one of those times where you're going through something and you've never, you know, it's like one of those experiences you'll never forget. You remember every detail, everything. Well, I remember every detail. And I remember after that happened, so many little things conspired, and there were so many bad things going on. You know, people were looting, people were getting robbed, you know, people were just trashing every grocery store within 50 miles, you know, for food. And I mean, it was crazy. And this went on for weeks, really. And I remember about maybe a week, week and a half, somewhere in that range, after the earthquake, we decided to get in the car and go. We ended up going over and staying with my wife's brother, Miguel, and his family at their house. And we went out one day. It was myself, Miguel, and his daughter, Mariana. And we went out to find some supplies. We needed some food. We needed some eggs and some produce because everything that we had was all used up by then. And so we got in the car. We had limited gas, so we needed to, you know, get around. And I remember we said a prayer before we left, and we just prayed to God and you know, said, Father, we you know, we have needs, and we know that you're a great God and that you can fulfill those needs for us. This was the first time I want to tell you that not the first time, but one of the big times that I really saw God work in my life, like it was so right in front of me and I couldn't deny it, you know. So we said that prayer and we went out and we went looking for food. And I remember we're driving down the road and came across a guy. We needed eggs, and we drove by, and this is the only guy, mind you, who's on the street selling eggs. So we pulled over and we bought a couple crates of eggs, and really that's about all he had. He didn't have much else, but we bought what we could, and we took the eggs with us, you know. So that was one of the big things that we really needed. Mind you, you know, this went on for well over a month before everything was kind of getting back to normal. So we really had to find out here. So, you know, we got the eggs. We're driving around, and we're driving, and we need produce. You know, we needed potatoes and apples and oranges and all this kind of stuff and things that we could use to cook and eat. And mind you, I mean, food was scarce. I mean, nothing was open. No stores, no nothing. Just imagine, you know, being in a place where you don't have any of that. The modern conveniences of just going to the store and buying something. None of that was available. So we had to find this stuff. And we're driving, and we notice there's this truck that pulls off by where like a produce stand is, and it opens up, and it's got a truck full of produce. So we pull off, and just a line started forming right away. And so we got in line, and we ended up getting a 50-kilo bag of potatoes. We got, I think, all kinds of stuff, peppers, oranges, apples, just a whole bunch of stuff. We took a whole bunch of produce with us, and it was just like perfect timing, as we went by. So we got what we needed. And this is where what I'm about to tell you is what really showed me how personal my Heavenly Father is to those that put their trust in Him and love Him with all their heart. So we get in the car, and I said a little prayer to myself. I didn't even say it out loud, okay? And I said, man, Father, thank you. You met our need. And I don't know if I'm going overboard here, basically, but what I wouldn't do for a little bit of soda. A Coke, a Sprite, whatever you want. I don't know. I just would love a little soda. Just one of those little comfort things. I don't even drink a lot of soda, so. But I said that. And so we got in the car. I kind of, we took off, and it was about 20, 25 minutes away. I just forgot about it. And we get to the house, and we see a car there, and it was my niece's fiance. And so we didn't even think about it. I get out of the car, we start unpacking, and we go inside, and I go out into the house, and we go into the back patio where we had a lot of stuff. We had a grill and some other things. And wouldn't you know it, there was crates full of soda at the house. And I literally, at that point, wanted to cry. Because I started to realize that I had a Heavenly Father that actually cares about the little things in my life. That I had a Heavenly Father that actually cared enough to give me something so insignificant like soda, something that's not even good for me. But He gave it to me because I said I wanted a little bit of it. And for me, that was probably the biggest impact that I ever saw. And I just remember saying, Father, how big you are, and yet you care about those little things. And I have never forgotten that. And ever since that day, I believe that I've really tried to live for God bigger and bigger. You see, a lot of times, I used to ask myself this question. I used to always say, and I used to go out in my life, and I used to say, you know what, God loves me. He loves me no matter what I do. And I used to kind of use that to justify things that I would do. God loves me. He loves me. No matter what I do, God always loves me. And while that was true, I was really kidding myself. Because honestly, it's not about how much God loves us. It's a given. He loves us with everything we are, with everything He is. He loves us. He proved that when He sent His Son, Jesus Christ, to die on the cross for you and for me. He proved His love by giving something that was so precious to Him to you and me. But I realized that it wasn't about how much He loved me, but it was about how much I loved Him. How much do I love Him back? And I realized that when I started to love Him back as a son of His, that's when my life changed. For me, I can't stay quiet anymore. I have to tell my story. This is what I consider the ultimate testimonial video for the one that has given me every bit of prosperity, that's given me every bit of wealth that I've attained in my business, and it's my Heavenly Father and His Son, Jesus Christ. I hope I'm not offending you, but at this point I have to tell my story. I have to say what has helped me to succeed. And I'm not talking religion. I'm not talking that. I've never been a religious person. I'm not a religious person at all. All I know is that when I made the decision to love God with all my heart, soul, mind, and strength, He blessed my family. He's blessed me. He's blessed my family. He's taken care of us on every level. Even when I had $7 in my bank account and I didn't know how I was going to put food on the table, God supplied our need. He made sure we never went without. He made sure that every single time we paid those bills on time, even though we were scraping to get by, we still had money to pay those bills. I honestly don't know how. I look back and I think to myself, I don't even know how it all happened. All I know is that God met our need. And now He's blessed me with abundance. We give to our church on a regular basis. We give. We're so thankful. You know, a lot of times we see people that are in need. We like to help people. And I'm not telling you that to brag. I'm just telling you because I'm so grateful for what God has done in my life. And I'm not going to be quiet about it anymore. I'm just so thankful. I just want to encourage you today that if my video here has done anything to help you, I just want to say to you today, if you don't have a relationship with God, you might want to consider that. You know, maybe you're missing something in your life. I don't know. But I'm telling you right now, your business isn't going to fill that true need that you have. If you have a hole in your heart somewhere, the only one that can fill it is Jesus Christ. It's the only one. He filled it in mine, and I just have to tell the story now. I'm a new person ever since that day that I decided to love God back. I'm just a new person. And a lot of people ask me, like I've said before, a lot of people ask me, what is it that's caused you to be successful, Mark? Why is it that you've been able to do what you do? Now you know. Now you know. I appreciate you listening to me in this video. But if, like I said in other testimonial videos, if you have any questions about working with God, don't be afraid. God is there. He wants to take care of you. And not only can He prosper your business and your family and everything that you do, no matter what's going on around you in this crazy ass world, pardon my French, in this crazy world, God will always, always be there to take care of you. He promises us. He's done it for me, and He'll do it for you too. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've allowed me to do to play a role in your business. I just know that my calling is changing, and I feel like I'm on fire for God right now. I see what God is doing in so many people and doing in myself, He's putting my wife and I in situations where we have opportunities to help people. And for me, that's why I'm here on this earth. My purpose is for one reason, and that's to serve my God. And I will shout it from the rooftops from here on out that He is my God, He prospers me, and He moves me forward. I want to encourage you to, and even if you've never read the Bible before, maybe this is the first time you've ever heard me talk about God, I don't know, but it's certainly not going to be the last. I just have to tell you, this is one of the things in my life that I'm just so proud of, and I'm just not going to hold back anymore. I'm certainly not going to bug you to the point where you don't want to hear me anymore, but I got to tell you, it's just part of who I am, and it's part of what's helped me to be successful. I would not be here right now if I didn't have God in my life, and I wouldn't be here if He wasn't number one. And I'm not perfect, I'm certainly not, but I'm striving, that's for sure. I'm striving. But consider a relationship with your Heavenly Father, and you'll never go wrong. You'll never go wrong. But I wanted to encourage you, even if you've never read the Bible before, to go and read Deuteronomy 8, the whole chapter of Deuteronomy 8. And if you look in this blog post, go up to where I have Deuteronomy 8, and I have a couple verses listed. I have a link to where you can go and read that. But read that whole thing, and I think it'll really impact you, because in that record in the Bible, what it talked about was the children of Israel, and how the children of Israel, they had gotten very, very prosperous. They were prospering like crazy. God was just prospering them. And in the end, God just reminded them, don't forget who it is that gave you this wealth. Sometimes we think, at least for me, I know in my own life, the temptation has always been there to make it look like I'm something great. I just take action, and I believe God to prosper me with that action, and that's what's happened. So I hope you got some value out of this video. I hope I didn't offend you, but this is my life and what's most important to me. And God is my number one. He is the reason that I have wealth. He is the reason I have abundance. And it's His Son, Jesus Christ, that paid that price, that gave me access to Him. And from this point forward, I will shout it from the rooftops because I'm so super thankful. This is the ultimate testimonial video. I hope you enjoyed it. God bless you. I love you. We'll see you in future blog posts. And I love you. I love you so much. And I hope today you'll make a decision, if you haven't, to consider giving God a shot if you feel an emptiness in your heart. Because I'm telling you, it's filled mine, and it can fill yours too. I love you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.